Step right up, Night City!
The lights are blazing, the billboards screaming, the jingles crawling under your skin. You live in the loudest circus on earth. Ads, ads, ads.
More ads than stars in the sky.
Chrome, guns, brain dances, implants, every neon tower shouting for your soul. But every great show needs Act 1. And tonight's curtain rises not on fashion, not on firearms, not on fame, no, choom. We begin where every empire begins, your belly.
Because nothing owns a human like hunger.
And nothing shows capitalism's sorcery better than the sludge you swallow every single day. So forget chrome and guns for now. Tonight we witness the miracles of the marketplace. Watch worms turn to wagyu.
And watch piss water crowned as champagne.
Watch rot painted as romance. Watch nothing become a trillion eddy empire. Welcome, Chooms, to the greatest magic trick capitalism ever pulled.
Marketing!
Make no mistake, Chooms. Tonight isn't just about food, or drink, or flavor. It's about opening your eyes. About tearing back the curtain on the loudest circus in Night City. Every ad you've swallowed without a thought. Every slogan that slipped past your guard. Tonight, we drag them center stage. Like a magician caught in the spotlight. Every trick revealed, every illusion undone. We'll judge them not as jingles or gimmicks, but as acts in the grand carnival of capitalism. Because in this city, dinner isn't dinner. Hunger isn't hunger. They're illusions. Designed, sold, and swallowed until you can't tell the trick from the truth. So step right up, Chooms. The lights are hot. The crowd is restless. And the show is about to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen of Night City, the curtain's up, the spotlight's hot, and the food wars have begun. Our first act of the evening, could it be filet mignon? Wrong! Perhaps caviar, velvet, pearls on ice? Wrong again! The tooth chooms slithers much lower, squirmier, slimier. Worms! That's right, worms reborn as beef. Behold the miracle of corporate alchemy. Wriggle becomes ribeye. Slime becomes sirloin. Disgust becomes desire. So don't blink, don't turn away. For our very first trick of the night, we present the one, the only, EasyBeef.
It's another Friday night in the mega block. Dad steps in, shoulders slumped from another double shift. He drops his bag, sits heavy at the table, and slaps down tonight's meal. A tube of EasyBeef. The plastic sleeve twitches, something inside still wriggling. The sound cuts sharper than any knife. The kids recoil instantly. "Ew!" one blurts, while the other covers their nose and gags. Mom doesn't flinch. She just says,
"Don't be rude, kids. This is healthy and eco-friendly."
The daughter giggles nervously. The son swallows hard. But their eyes keep drifting to the hollow ad looping in the corner. A cartoon worm with big eyes and a bow tie, waving, singing about saving the planet.
EasyBeef. So fresh, it wriggles in your mouth.
Dad tears the tube, squeezes a patty onto his plate. It wriggles as it lands. He chews with a forced grin, forcing the words out past the slime. "See? Not bad." Mom follows. The kids stare. And now it isn't food anymore. It's a test. Are you brave enough? Are you normal? One bite at a time, disgust gets rewritten. The gag becomes a chuckle. The chuckle becomes a swallow. And soon the whole family's chewing worms, smiling through the ooze. Laughter fades into mastication. Mastication fades into silence. Ah, just another night in the mega blocks.
Diagnostic summary. EasyBeef demonstrates optimal normalization marketing strategy. Shock index, extreme. Initial disgust guaranteed across demographics. Conditioning tool, repetition. Mascot-driven imagery rewires baseline perception. Conversion method, group hypnosis. Peer pressure converts laughter into consumption ritual. Profitability, high. Low-cost worm cultures scaled into premium protein branding. Final rating, 9 out of 10. A near-perfect case in appetite reprogramming. Disgust weaponized, obedience monetized. The circus calls it dinner. All Foods calls it market share.
Did you have fun with our first miracle, Chooms? Worms into beef. Ooh, the crowd went wild. But don't you dare leave your seats yet. Oh, no, no, no. We're only just getting started. Sit tight, strap in, 'cause the next act, this one doesn't crawl. It doesn't wriggle. It sparkles. That's right. Feast your eyes on a miracle of pure alchemy. Because tonight we unveil the one, the only
Champaradise Rotgut.
Pop the cork, let it spray. Paradise in a bottle.
A doll has just finished her shift in Japantown, wig tucked into a cheap plastic bag, makeup smudged at the edges. She stops by a street stall, neon buzzing overhead.
One bottle of Champaradise Rotgut, please.
She clutches it like a treasure, the way some girls cradle roses. At home, she peels the foil back, cracked mirror on the wall. She tilts the bottle, pops the cork. Spray bursts out, running down her neck, soaking her shirt. She laughs.
Pop the cork, let it spray on your lips, on your chest, on your friends.
For a moment, just a moment, she's not in a coffin room. She's in velvet halls. The floor beneath her is marble, the mirror a grand portrait, and she is the woman inside it. Jeweled, adored, aristocratic, a queen bathed in light, her lips painted with foam, her body sparkling with liquid gold. She raises the bottle, gulps, and feels it. The fizz tickling her throat, the glamour bubbling in her chest.
You don't have to be rich to sparkle, Chooms. Champaradise makes queens of us all.
And then, reality snaps back. There are no velvet halls, only stained sheets clinging to a damp mattress. No chandeliers, just a cracked bulb buzzing like an insect. The courtiers vanish, leaving mildew dripping down the walls. The spray on her chest doesn't shimmer, it clings, sour, sticky, itching like an unwashed bra. She stumbles, coughs, the fizz carving fire down her throat.
Swallow the fizz. Guzzle the glamour.
And the elegant glass she imagines in her hand. It's nothing but cheap plastic, sweating rotgut. Already half empty, already warm. She stares at her reflection, not a queen in a portrait, but a tired face in a cracked mirror. Mascara running, lips foamed with bile, crown slipping into silence.
Champaradise. Paradise in a bottle.
Diagnostic summary. Champaradise Rotgut demonstrates aspirational delusion marketing strategy. Shock index, moderate. Eroticized foam and body cues deployed in lieu of product quality. Conditioning tool, glamour mimicry. Counterfeit wealth sold as accessible sparkle. Conversion method, delusion transfer. Consumers adopt fantasy of status while ingesting rotgut. Profitability, stable. Rotgut margins maximized by aspirational branding cycles. Final rating, 6 out of 10. A counterfeit crown, poverty glamorized. Self-delusion industrialized.
And if queens can be crowned from Rotgut, what of kings, Tombs? Step closer for the next miracle of marketing alchemy, the pauper's coronation. 1 bottle of swill, dipped in gold foil, and behold! The beggar becomes a pharaoh, the drunk becomes a conqueror, the bar stool becomes a throne. This, my friends, is no wine, it is empire in a bottle. The grand illusion of Abydos, king size!
The billboard says it plain. Neon gold letters, bottle gripped between breasts that spill over linen. Hollow concubines lean in close, whispering,
Let's warm you up, Pharaoh. Let's crown you king.
He tears the foil with greasy fingers, gut rolling under a stained undershirt. First gulp, and the world rewrites itself. In his head, the recliner transforms into a throne. The peeling wallpaper becomes hieroglyphs, the bottle a scepter. And around him, the women from the billboard appear. Jeweled eyes, painted lips, bare skin gleaming under torchlight. Their breasts spill from jeweled silks, pressed close against him as they laugh and whisper. Every jiggle, every curve is borrowed straight from the neon ad outside. A hologram of desire stitched into his drunk delirium. Each swallow, another touch, another moan, another promise that he's a king. But reality cuts through like static. No palaces, no bronze armor to command, no great armies to send roaring across the Mediterranean like Alexander. Just his wife, shrinking into the kitchen corner. A child under a blanket, headphones blasting, praying to disappear. His kingdom, a recliner bleeding stuffing. His treasure, half-formed takeout stacked by the door, grease soaking through cardboard. And the only thing king-size in this empire is his gut and his temper.
Diagnostic summary. Abydos king size demonstrates masculine delusion marketing strategy. Shock index, moderate. Pharaoh imagery eroticized into conquest cues. Conditioning tool, coronation mimicry. Conversion method, ego exploitation. Profitability, high. Minimal production cost inflated by masculine power fantasy branding. Final rating, 7.5 out of 10. A clown in a crown. Losers enthroned. Conquest commodified. Vomit sold as victory.
Ah, pharaohs of pisswater, kings crowned from Rotgut. Abydos promised empire in a bottle, but all it poured was swill in gold foil. But what's a circus without nonsense? Step right up for tonight's next act. A trick with no logic, no dignity, no shame. A product so absurd it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to make you stare. Is it for man? Is it for mutt? Who cares? In this ring, confusion itself is the commodity. Feast your eyes, Night City, on the sleaze that spreads you back, the joke that sells itself twice, the gutter gag called Bawdy Dog.
It's midnight in Northside. Rain beating down, neon buzzing like broken nerves. The hum of the freeway drowns the silence, choking the night in exhaust and static. Outside a Roach motel, a man shuffles in a grease-stained jacket, collar up against the downpour. In one hand, a plastic leash. On the other end, a mutt, ribs showing, fur-matted eyes hollow. Both hungry, both empty. They pass flickering signs, dead vending stalls. Then, one still alive, humming, cheap, Bawdy Dog. Its hollow spins in the rain, a jar wedged between breasts, a cartoon hound drooling like it's in on the joke. The man squints. Is it for me or for the dog? Doesn't matter. 5 eddies, swipe. The jar hisses open. Slop oozes out, steaming in the cold. He takes a bite, feeds a lump to his mutt. They chew, they swallow. Rain dripping off their faces, washing the taste into the gutter. That's it. Dinner. No outrage, no pause, just survival. Because when you're broke enough, confusion isn't a glitch, it's the meal. If it fills the gut, who cares whose name's on the label? Man or mutt, same hunger, same trough. And that's the trick. The label doesn't matter. The product doesn't matter. The confusion is the product. You buy because you don't know what it is. You remember because it doesn't make sense. That double take in the rain, that's the sale. Bawdy Dog doesn't feed man or beast. It feeds ambiguity. It sells nonsense. And in Night City, even confusion is profitable.
Diagnostic summary. Bawdy Dog demonstrates confusion as commodity marketing strategy. Shock index, extreme. Viewer trapped between arousal and revulsion. Conditioning tool, weaponized ambiguity. Consumers compelled to discuss meaninglessness. Conversion method, viral provocation. Double take extended into purchase consideration. Profitability, high. Cost of sludge disguised by spectacle ensures chatter equals sales. File rating, 8 out of 10. Sense assassinated. Confusion normalized. Proof that in Night City, nonsense is profitable.
Ah, Chooms. You've had your laugh, haven't you? A meal for man or mutt. Who could even tell? Bawdy Dog, the gutter gag that sells confusion by the jar. But the circus rolls on, and every act must top the last. If nonsense can fill your gut, then what happens when horror itself gets shrink-wrapped? When intestines wear a smile, and gore comes with a jingle? Feast your eyes on tonight's next trick, where monsters become mascots, and disgust is dressed up as delight. Behold, shout it with me, Night City, Meat Delight, Veggie Delight, the paste that proves even terror can be marketed to children.
Ah, picture this. Tuesday morning in Santo Domingo. The city rises, the sirens fade, and another school day begins. A boy drags himself into an overcrowded classroom. Desks cracked, hollow flickering, teacher droning state-approved nonsense. Just another morning in the underclass. Lunch break. No trays, no kitchens, no hot meals. Just a vending wall humming in the corner. Rows of tubes. Meat Delight, Veggie Delight. And the mascots. That's the real trick. A grinning pig stitched from scraps. Intestines coiled into a smile. A vegetable freak with tomato eyes, glowing like veins, staring right into you. Monstrosities packaged as buddies. The boy laughs. His friends laugh. They squeeze it onto bread, slurp it raw, smear it on each other's sleeves. Nobody gags. So when those kids grow up and see blood on the pavement, another chrome saw dismemberment in an alley, they shrug. They've already been trained. Because it wasn't just paste they grew up on. It was mascots of gore. Smiling, waving, teaching them horror is normal. A whole generation raised on monsters with friendly faces. And you wonder why Night City is so violent.
Diagnostic summary. Meat and Veggie Delight demonstrate desensitization marketing strategy. Shock index low. Gore, reframed as comedy through mascots. Conditioning tool. Infantilization. Monstrous imagery softened with cartoon aesthetics. Conversion method. Early imprinting. School distribution ensures lifetime normalization. Profitability. Moderate high. Cheap paste leveraged into generational brand loyalty. Final rating, 4 out of 10. Not obscene genius, just steady rot. Disgust eroded, appetite rewired, violence normalized.
Right now, Chooms. We've seen horror dressed as comedy. gore squeezed into a tube, and children laughing at monsters with a smile. But what about the working stiffs, huh? The crews who can't afford illusions, who never get crowns or sparkle. Step right up for the next great trick of appetite. Not luxury, not lust, not horror, but bulk. Feast your eyes, kill your guts. The miracle of the masses, the caloric coffin, the belly bloater itself, the Burrito XXL. It's big.
Picture this. A construction worker in Santo wakes up at 4:30. Sweat already clean to him before he's even left the block. 10 hours of hauling rebar, lungs full of dust. Skin burned under neon lamps. By noon, his stomach's roaring, but his wallet's thin. No time for Wagyu worms or champagne cosplay. He needs something cheap, something heavy. So he buys the Burrito XXL. A brick of beans, starch, floor-scraped protein paste. Doesn't matter what's inside, it's big. He scarfs it down in 5 minutes. Gut swelling, veins straining. By the time he's back on the scaffold, his blood pressure's climbing faster than the tower he'll never live in. He isn't eating for pleasure, or even survival. He's fueling the machine. His body's a cheap truck, and the Burrito XXL is dirty diesel. Doesn't matter if the engine coughs, sputters, or dies young. So long as it runs today. Calories in, labor out. And All Foods knows it. The marketing doesn't even bother with fantasy. No sparkle, no sex, just 3 words. It's big. Because the target audience is simple. When you're deep in the grind, broke and disposable, you don't dream of better. You just pump in sludge until the engine quits.
Diagnostic summary. Burrito XXL demonstrates bulk survival marketing strategy. Shock index minimal. Slogan simplicity, it's big, prioritizes clarity over spectacle. Conditioning tool, quantity appeal. Caloric overload framed as value. Conversion method, economic coercion. Blue-collar laborers sacrifice health for affordability. Profitability, consistent. Cheap filler mass-produced, sustaining obedience while accelerating decline. Final rating, 5 out of 10. A slow death wrapped in tortilla. Bulk sold as value, arteries clogged as planned obsolescence.
Ladies and gentlemen of Night City, we've stuffed the poor until their guts split. And now we crown the king of collapse. Step right up for the miracle of regression. Behold the drink that kills ambition dead and replaces it with a porcelain throne. Watch as the rat race runner transforms into the bathroom messiah. The one, the only, Broseph Ale.
The sun blazes down on Haywood. On the streets below, construction gonks, hauling steel. NCPD pounding down an alley. A trauma team AV screaming overhead. Corpos in Charter Hill polishing chrome smiles. Delivery riders weaving through traffic with nutrient packs strapped to their backs. The whole machine of Night City grinding forward. Every cog whirring, every soul in motion. Meanwhile, in a dark apartment above it all, a 40-year-old finally stirs. Gut spilling over sweatpants, balding head bent over a controller. The game he passed out playing still blares on screen. Same frat hoodie from 20 years ago. He cracks a Broseph Ale before brushing his teeth, grinning like life's good. He's got nothing to celebrate, but drinks like he does. Like a man who looked at the grind once and said, nah, I'm good. Let mum handle it. Time to party. Too weak to climb, too hollow to fight, too content to rot. A permanent teenager, marinating in sweat and piss beer. And While he slurps on his golden toilet, his mother's down the block at Westbrook Mall, hunched over a cashier's counter, back aching, wrists locking, still covering rent for them both at 70. She grinds so he can regress. She clocks in so he can log on. But here's the irony, Chooms. Night City is a capitalist hellhole, rigged, merciless, unwinnable, no doubt about it. Most people grind till the day they die and still get crushed with nothing to show for it. And yet, they keep going. They wake up, they suffer, they crawl back to the line, not because the system rewards them, but because the human spirit refuses to quit. And that's the cruel genius of it all. The very thing we call strength, resilience, hope, is exactly what the corpos exploit. They found a way to monetize perseverance itself, to turn stubborn survival into the grease that keeps their engine alive. But Broseph Ale, it doesn't feed that engine, oh no. It sells the opposite, surrender itself, bottled, branded, sold as a lifestyle. Be your best self, the slogan says. Translation, be your worst and keep buying. While your mother breaks herself to keep you afloat.
Diagnostic summary. Broseph Ale demonstrates regression as lifestyle marketing strategy. Shock index, extreme. Toilet throne imagery fuses humiliation with humor, ensuring maximum viral recall. Conditioning tool, self-abandonment. Collapse reframed as authenticity. Conversion method, dependency loop. Consumers not only purchase, they embody the product's philosophy of surrender. Profitability, absolute. Zero aspiration required. Zero ambition tolerated. An endless cycle of consumption, sustained by deliberate stagnation. Final rating, 10 out of 10. Collapse branded as identity. Regression immortalized as market segment. Category note. Unlike prior food illusions that prolonged survival through deception, Broseph Ale transcends necessity. It monetizes surrender itself. The appetite ends, the consumer dissolves, and only the brand remains.
So the curtain falls on tonight's show. But don't mistake the silence for an ending, Chooms. The circus never leaves Night City. The billboards still scream. The jingles still crawl under your skin. And we have only begun our tour of illusions. Tonight, we've only tasted the first course of the feast. The food ads. Believe me, the pantry isn't empty. Part 2 awaits, packed with even more slop and spectacle. And after the food, the carnival only grows. Fashion, flesh, brain dance, chrome and guns. Every illusion, every mask, every market. So if you've enjoyed the ride, remember to like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which ad was your favorite trick of the night, and which circus act you want to see us unmask next. The curtain may fall, but the carnival goes on. The show always goes on.